Top to 10 things from the 1970s kids today will never understand. Imagine a world before phone cameras, Instagram filters, and instant photo apps in the 1970s. Capturing a moment meant pulling out a chunky Polaroid camera, clicking, and holding your breath for the magic to unfold. It was like witnessing a tiny miracle. A picture materializing from thin air, raw and imperfect, with its own quirky charm. Unlike today's endless digital retakes and filter adjustments, Polaroids offered just one shot, one precious glimpse frozen in time. No instant gratification there. Just anticipation and the thrill of the unknown. And when the picture finally emerged, it wasn't a pixelated image on a screen, but a tangible memory you could hold. A paper frame filled with sunshine and laughter. Used to instant edits and perfect digital faces. Might laugh at the grainy edges and crooked smiles, but for us, those Polaroids were windows into a simpler time, filled with the excitement of the real, unfiltered moment. Forget faceless algorithms spitting out recommendations. Based on your last 3 listens, picture a bustling haven for music lovers. Overflowing with tangible, sleeve-encased treasures. Imagine knowledgeable staff, not chatbots, who could recommend hidden gems based on your curious gaze and humming tune. That was the magic of record stores. The beating heart of musical communities pre-streaming. They weren't just shops. They were social hubs where strangers bonded over shared grooves, flipping through vinyl LPs like precious maps to sonic landscapes. Today's kids, with their curated digital libraries and isolated listening experiences, can only imagine the thrill of serendipitous discoveries and the warm buzz of vinyl camaraderie that filled those record store havens. Picking up the phone in the 70s was like playing roulette with your social life. No caller ID meant you could be greeted by your best friend, a telemarketer trying to sell you aluminum siding, or even your grandma calling from across the country. You'd grab the receiver with sweaty palms, hoping for the best but prepared for the worst, the frantic scramble for the phone cord, followed by the panicked yell across the house, "It's for you." These are experiences today's kids, glued to their smartphones and personalized notifications, could never truly understand. For them, a phone call is an intrusion, not an adventure. So next time you see a kid staring blankly at their phone, lost in a world of curated feeds and known contacts, remember the days of mystery calls and frantic scrambles. We may have traded anticipation for convenience, but somewhere along the way, we lost a little bit of the magic of not knowing. Forget Uber ratings and surge pricing in the groovy 70s. Catching a ride meant sticking your thumb out and hoping for the best. The open road was an invitation, and drivers rarely hesitated to pick up hitchhikers. It was a gamble, sure, with the occasional oddball thrown into the mix, but that was part of the charm. Today, with hitching banned in many places and stranger danger drilled into everyone's heads, kids wouldn't get the thrill, or maybe the mild terror, of relying on the kindness of strangers for a spontaneous road trip. They'll never experience the rush of a friendly driver taking you miles past your intended destination, or the shared stories traded amidst the wind in your hair. Heck, they probably wouldn't even recognize a good thumbs-up technique. So yeah, hitching in the 70s was an adventure kids today wouldn't understand, one with a touch of wildness, thrown in for good measure. Forget insulated bags and ice packs. 70s kids wielded trusty metal lunchboxes, decorated with pop culture icons and bearing the proud scars of childhood. Dents and rust were badges of honor, each scuff telling a story. Unlike today's sleek, indestructible lunchboxes that never seem to bear the wear and tear of a childhood well lived. Today's kids, with their fancy lunch gear, can only imagine the satisfying clink of a metal lunchbox against your backpack as you skip down the schoolyard. The pet rock was a novelty pet sold in the United States. In the early 1970s, it was a simple idea, a small, smooth stone that was packaged in a cardboard box and sold as a pet. The pet rock was a huge success, selling over 5 million units in its first year. The instructions on the box said that the pet rock needed to be fed once a day, but that the food was love and affection. The pet rock also came with a certificate of adoption and a care and feeding guide. The pet rock was a huge cultural phenomenon. It was featured on talk shows, in magazines, and even in a song by the novelty band, the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band. The pet rock was also the subject of a number of parodies and spoofs. For modern kids, it's hard to imagine what it was like to watch Saturday morning cartoons in the 1970s today. Kids can watch any cartoon they want, whenever they want. They can watch them on demand, on streaming services, or even on their phones. In the 1970s, things were very different. There were only a few channels, and they only showed a limited number of cartoons. Kids had to wait for their favorite cartoons to come on, and they had to watch them at a certain time. Saturday morning cartoons typically ran from 7 o'clock a.m. to 10 o'clock a.m. This meant that kids had to be up early to catch their favorite shows. Despite these differences, Saturday morning cartoons in the 1970s were a magical time for kids. They were a time of fun, excitement, and shared experience. Mood rings were one of the most popular accessories of the 1970s. They were believed to change color depending on the wearer's mood, and they quickly became a symbol of the decade's free-spirited attitude. When the wearer was feeling happy or excited, their body temperature would increase, causing the ring to change color. When the wearer was feeling sad or angry, their body temperature would decrease, causing the ring to change color. Mood rings were a huge hit with teenagers and young adults in the 1970s. They were often worn as a fashion statement, but they were also seen as a way to express one's personality and mood. In the days before cashless payments, rubber coin purses were a popular way to carry coins. They were small, lightweight, and easy to grip, making them perfect for kids and adults alike. Rubber coin purses were made of a variety of materials, including rubber, plastic, and vinyl. They were often brightly colored and decorated with fun patterns or designs. Some coin purses even had built-in games or puzzles. Modern kids are likely to be confused by the concept of a rubber coin purse. They may wonder why anyone would carry coins when they can simply use a card or their phone to pay for things. Children will not understand why you need to have a directory when you can find all the information on the internet. In the days before the internet, Yellow Pages were a popular way to find information about businesses and organizations in the United States. Yellow Pages were divided into two sections, home and commercial. The home section contained information about individuals such as doctors, lawyers, and so on. The commercial section contained information about businesses such as stores, restaurants, and so on.